Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to take a single event, a military rivalry football game, and see just how much we can learn from it.
That's right. Our source material is all about the 9th annual Turkey Bowl. It's Army versus Air Force in Arizona. And we're using this one game to get a real shortcut into the competitive spirit, the traditions, and even the strategic importance of the bases involved.
The matchup is between the Army's Fort Huachuca Black Knights and the Air Force's Davis-Monthan Mustangs, an Arizona grudge match. And the big story here was all about the series lead.
Exactly. The final score was 19-12 for the Black Knights. But this was so much more than just a win.
Right.
It snapped the Mustangs' 2-game winning streak in the series.
Yeah.
And, it tightened that all-time rivalry lead to just one game, 5-4.
You can just feel the tension in that number.
Yeah.
And the Fort Huachuca Garrison commander, Colonel Mike Childs, he summed it all up in one word: redemption.
Yeah, that says it all. This was about pride.
So let's get into this redemption story. The game started out, well, it was frantic, an almost unbelievable first half.
It really was. The start of the game was just this massive contrast between, incredible athletic plays and these pressure-induced mistakes. Both teams came out swinging on offense.
The Mustangs, Davis-Monthan, they set the tone immediately. Their quarterback, Jeremiah Jafuro, he just marches them down the field and runs it in himself for a short touchdown.
Puts them up 6-0. A perfect start for the Air Force.
But Fort Huachuca, the Army team, they answered right back. I mean, before the crowd even had a chance to settle down.
Not at all. Their quarterback, Jake Herzog, just launches this 80-yard bomb to Blair Butler. Touchdown.
And just like that, it's tied at 6.
The back and forth was relentless. Midway through the first half, the Mustangs take the lead again. This time, Jafuro throws a touchdown pass to Devin Marin.
So it's 12-6, Davis-Monthan.
For a minute, yeah. It was like neither defense could get a handle on things. So, of course, Fort Huachuca responds again. Herzog with another touchdown pass, this one to Damon Lawrence.
Tying it up at 12. So we've got 4 touchdowns in the first half alone.
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. The scoreboard looks like a shootout, but the pressure was clearly causing problems. The field started getting really messy.
With turnovers.
So many turnovers. The Black Knights, Fort Huachuca, they threw 2 interceptions in the first half. The Mustangs threw 1, and they also turned the ball over on downs.
So at halftime, the score is tied 12-12, but the game feels chaotic.
It does. It feels like whoever can clean up their mistakes first is going to win.
And that sets up this perfect pivot for the second half. The game just completely changes. It stops being about offense and becomes this defensive, grinded-out struggle.
It does. And it starts with what has to be the most brutal error of the whole game.
Oh, this was tough to read about.
It was an immediate, just gut-wrenching mistake by the Army. They put together this beautiful long drive to start the half. They're trying to take the lead.
And they get all the way down to the 1-yard line. The 1-yard line. You can't get any closer.
And it's 4th and goal. Maximum pressure. And they throw an interception.
In the end zone, their third of the game.
To drive 99 yards and come away with nothing, that's just a massive psychological blow.
Absolutely. And for a military unit, a group trained for zero-error situations, that kind of mistake just shows you how much this rivalry meant.
It really does. And what happened next is just as telling. That turnover lets the Mustangs basically just run out the entire third quarter.
Just trying to get out of the shadow of their own goalposts.
Exactly. They held the ball almost the whole quarter before turning it over on downs themselves. So the entire third quarter. No points. A total defensive stalemate.
So we go into the fourth, still tied 12-12, and the defenses are they're completely in control.
Completely. We see another Army turnover on downs.
Yeah.
Then the Air Force throws another interception. Their third of the game.
The tension must have been off the charts. As the clock is ticking down, Fort Huachuca starts to put a drive together. It looks like they might set up for a game-winning score.
2 minutes left. This is their chance.
But then Devin Marin, the same Mustangs receiver who scored a touchdown earlier, he makes a play on defense.
A huge play. With only 30 seconds left in the game, he gets an interception for the Air Force. Their 4th of the game.
Wow. 4th interception.
That has to be it, right? You think, okay, the game is sealed. Davis-Monthan has the ball.
You just kneel on it, take the tie, or maybe go to overtime, whatever the rules are. But you don't risk anything deep in your own territory.
They were on their own 3-yard line. But they didn't play it safe. They tried for deep shots. And that decision that's where the rivalry, maybe a little arrogance, cost them everything.
And open the door for that redemption.
Delivered by the most unlikely person you could imagine.
With just 17 seconds on the clock, the Air Force QB, Jeff Faroe, throws it deep.
And he throws it right into the arms of a defensive lineman, James Wyatt Jr.
A defensive lineman. And here's the detail that links it all back for us. The source specifies his unit.
It does. He's with the 304th Military Intelligence Battalion. So this isn't just a random player. This is a highly specialized intelligence soldier winning the game.
He returns the interception 5 yards for the touchdown, the go-ahead score.
Just an incredible moment. The Black Knights go up 19-12. The Mustangs get the ball back with about 14 seconds left. They throw one last Hail Mary.
And it falls incomplete. Game over.
The defense, which had made so many mistakes early on, gets the final say. That's what Colonel Childs meant. That is redemption.
And then right after the game, you see the tradition kick in, the trophy presentation at midfield, and then something called Right Arm Night.
Classic military tradition. It's an event, sometimes formal, sometimes not, where leadership and junior personnel can socialize. It's for building camaraderie, celebrating a big win like this.
So it channels that competitive fire right back into unit cohesion.
Precisely. It's an essential ritual.
Okay, so that's the game. Incredibly dramatic. But let's zoom out now and talk about the location. Fort Huachuca, Arizona. What actually happens there? Why is this base so important?
Well, Fort Huachuca is it's one of the most important high-tech defense hubs in the country. The primary focus is intelligence and network operations.
So it's home to the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence.
Right. That's where the entire Army trains its intelligence specialists. So it speaks directly to the identity of that game-winning player from the 304th Military Intelligence Battalion.
And it also has the U.S. Army Network Enterprise Technology Command, NETCOM. What's that?
Think of NETCOM as the IT department for the entire U.S. Army, but on a global scale. They operate and defend that whole worldwide network. It is a massive, massive job.
So intelligence and networks, but there's more, right? Something about testing.
Absolutely. The base is really designed for technical testing. You have the Electronic Proving Ground, or EPG, and the Joint Interoperability Test Command, JITC. This is where all the services come together.
So what's the Electronic Proving Ground testing exactly?
They're testing everything from radios to really sophisticated electronic warfare systems. They're making sure the tech that soldiers rely on actually works in the field and can't be easily jammed or hacked.
And the JITC, the Joint Interoperability Test Command?
Interoperability is the key word there. It's a huge deal in modern warfare. JITC's job is to make sure that Army systems can talk to Navy systems, which can talk to Air Force systems, and so on.
So that all the branches are on the same page electronically.
Exactly. It's a non-negotiable mission today. So Fort Huachuca isn't just a base, it's this living laboratory for the future of warfare.
And the physical environment there makes that possible. This source mentioned the sheer size of it.
It did. It's something like 946 square miles of restricted airspace and 2,500 square miles of protected electronic ranges. You need that kind of empty, protected space to do this kind of sensitive testing securely.
And the location itself, in southeast Arizona, only about 15 miles from the Mexican border, it's steeped in history.
Oh, deeply. It was established way back in 1877, right on the American frontier. It was a national landmark by 1976. The base calls itself the Army's home.
When you put all that together, the frontier history, the Army's home pride, and this critical high-tech mission, you really get why a football victory over the Air Force feels like redemption.
It reinforces that whole identity. It lets these soldiers, like the linemen from the 304th MI Battalion, step out of the secure labs and put that unit pride on display for everyone to see.
So for you, the listener, think about what we just did. We went from a single football game to the core functions of Army intelligence, to Joint Defense Testing Commands, the importance of restricted airspace, and the deep history of a vital military installation.
It really shows you how these traditions, like the Turkey Bowl, they're not just games. They're a microcosm of the commitment and the professional culture these service members share.
It's the perfect shortcut to understanding the mission. You see it all focused into that final 1912 score.
And that leaves us with one last thought for you to chew on. We've just seen how these military teams balance these incredibly complex, high-tech national defense missions with this deep, ongoing athletic rivalry.
So given that dedication to tradition, even when things are operationally complex, what does that tell us about the role that unit morale and camaraderie play in the modern military? What other informal traditions are absolutely critical for holding a unit together in these high-stakes, high-tech environments?
That's a wrap on this deep dive. I hope you enjoyed the journey from a goal line pick six to 2,500 square miles of electronic ranges.
We'll see you next time.